Vintage-style tuners. Introduced by the Kluson Manufacturing Company in 1925, these classic mechanisms first appeared on early acoustic and solid-body electric guitars from brands like Fender and Gibson. They usually feature a stamped metal housing that covers the internal gears, keeping dust out while maintaining a lightweight profile. The defining characteristic is often the slotted post, where the string is pushed down into the center hole before winding, which creates a neat wrap and prevents the sharp end of the string from poking out. Many players still prefer them today because their lower mass can subtly affect the resonance of the instrument, and they offer an unmistakable retro aesthetic. You will often see these classic tuners equipped on vintage electric reissues like the Fender Vintera Telecaster, as well as iconic acoustic guitars such as the Gibson J45. Sealed die-cast tuners. Developed and introduced by the German manufacturer Schaller in 1966 with their groundbreaking M6 design, these units enclose the gear and worm drive inside a heavy, solid metal casing. They are permanently packed with lubrication at the factory, meaning they require zero maintenance over their lifespan. Because the housing is cast from a single piece of metal rather than stamped, they offer exceptional stability and a very smooth turning ratio. You will find these on the vast majority of contemporary electric guitars because they are incredibly reliable, holding pitch consistently through aggressive playing and temperature changes. Today, this reliable hardware comes standard on modern electric workhorse instruments like the PRS Custom 24, alongside premium acoustic models like the Taylor 814CE and the modern Martin D28. Locking tuners. Invented by Sperzel in 1983 with their trim lock model, this design revolutionized string changes by introducing a mechanism that clamps the string directly inside the tuning post. Instead of wrapping the string around the post multiple times to secure it, you simply pull the string taut, tighten down a locking wheel or screw usually located on the back of the tuner, and clip the excess wire. Originally developed to combat the tuning instability caused by aggressive use of tremolo bridges, they are a massive time saver for touring musicians and studio engineers who need to swap strings in a hurry. Because of these advantages, they are a standard feature on high-performance electric instruments like the Fender American Ultra Stratocaster. And while traditional acoustics rarely use them, modern acoustic electric hybrids like the Fender Acoustasonic series readily embrace this locking technology. Planetary and rear-facing tuners. Originally patented in the 1920s by manufacturers like Page to handle the tension of banjos, this unique mechanical design was later adapted for specialized solid-body guitars. Unlike standard worm gear machine heads where the button sticks out at a right angle to the post, this straight-through design places the button, internal gears, and string post all on a single axis. Inside the cylindrical housing, a central sun gear interacts with multiple outer planetary gears, allowing the mechanism to operate smoothly while pointing straight backward from the rear of the headstock. This linear profile allows builders to create perfectly straight neck profiles without tuning keys protruding from the edges, offering a highly streamlined aesthetic. Because of their specialized construction and weight, they are practically non-existent on acoustic guitars, but they remain absolutely iconic on vintage electric models like the Gibson Firebird, which relies on them to achieve its famous, sleek silhouette. Headless tuning systems. Pioneered by designer Ned Steinberger around 1979, this radical redesign completely eliminates the traditional headstock by relocating the tuning mechanisms down to the bridge of the instrument. Instead of wrapping the string around a rotating peg, the strings are anchored at the top of the neck and tuned at the base using micrometer-style threaded knobs that pull the string saddles backward to increase tension. This setup initially required specialized double ball end strings, though modern iterations often include locking nuts that accept standard strings. Relocating the heavy hardware to the body completely cures neck dive, resulting in a perfectly balanced, incredibly compact, and lightweight instrument with extremely precise tuning stability. While you will not find this futuristic hardware on traditional acoustic guitars, it has become incredibly popular on modern ergonomic electric guitars like the Strandberg Boden and the Kiesel Vader, alongside the original Steinberger L series. Automatic and self-tuning systems, commercially popularized by the German company Tronical in 2007, this highly advanced technology utilizes motorized pegs to physically tune the instrument for the player. A computerized sensor detects the pitch of the strings when strummed, quickly calculates how far out of tune they are, and sends signals to tiny servo motors built into the back of each machine head to automatically rotate them to the precise pitch. This innovation is especially valuable for musicians who need to switch into complex, alternate tunings on stage without having to swap instruments between songs. While standard acoustic guitars rarely come equipped with these robotic systems from the factory, aftermarket Tronical kits are frequently retrofitted onto traditional acoustics like the Taylor 114CE or Martin D28. Whereas in the electric guitar realm, this technology was famously integrated directly from the factory on electric models like the 2007 Gibson Les Paul and various Gibson SG standards equipped with the G-Force system. Open gear tuners. Rather than hiding the mechanical parts under a metal cover, this style leaves the internal cog and worm gear completely exposed to the elements. While they are far more common on acoustic instruments and basses, they occasionally make appearances on certain vintage-inspired or boutique electric guitars. The lack of a housing makes them incredibly lightweight, which can help balance a guitar that suffers from neck dive. Because the gears are exposed, they do require occasional cleaning and manual lubrication. But many builders and players appreciate the raw mechanical beauty they add to an instrument. If you are looking for this exposed aesthetic in the electric realm, you can spot them on boutique builds like the Novo Serus J, while in the acoustic world, they are a beloved traditional standard on vintage-style dreadnoughts like the Martin D18. Slotted headstock and classical tuners, emerging in the early 19th century to replace traditional wooden friction pegs, these mechanisms were pioneered by early European luthiers like Johann Georg Stauffer. Instead of metal posts sticking up vertically from a solid piece of wood, these tuners feature horizontal rollers that sit inside cutout windows or slots carved directly through the headstock. The gears are mounted entirely on the side of the wood, leaving the center open. This carved-out design creates a sharper break angle over the nut, which increases downward pressure and can dramatically enhance the sustain and acoustic volume of the strings. While they are the absolute standard on traditional nylon string acoustic instruments like the Yamaha C40 or the Cordoba C5, you will occasionally see them adapted for steel strings on vintage-style parlor acoustics like the Martin 028 VS, and very rarely on unique electric guitars such as the Rickenbacker 360/12.